Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK, where I'm back working on the garage conversion. So if you don't follow my channel, let me just give you a bit of an update. I moved into my cottage about 2.5 years ago, and it's got this garage block behind me. It was almost my intention to convert it into ancillary accommodation for the house. The house consists of a thatched cottage which has only one bedroom, so it's quite small. So I got planning permission about 6 months ago to convert the garage building, which actually sits in the far corner of the garden. And I'm currently in the process of digging a 2-foot trench for the electrics. Now, I'm not a trained tradesperson or a professional. I am a DIYer. I do have some experience of DIY because I've owned houses most of my life and I'm nearly 60. So I do have some experience, but this is a job on which I'm going to learn a lot, and I'm going to share that learning with you on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of what I plan on doing, and then I'm going to show you how I plan on doing it. A lot of people, when I've told them I'm doing a DIY garage conversion, have said to me, "Aren't you terrified? Aren't you afraid?" I wouldn't know where to start. And in all honesty, yes, I am a little bit scared of it. And in truth, I didn't really know where to start until I got a piece of paper out and drew up a little plan. And I've got a master plan here. It's on a piece of paper to my left, just out of shot, but I will be sharing that with you today. So if you're planning on a project like this, that might give you some inspiration. Before I show you the master plan, let me show you the overall project in real terms so that you can get some context. So I'm going to pick the camera up and do a walk around of the garage so that you know the scale of the project, and then I'll show you my master plan and explain how I intend to tackle it. Before I go any further, we used to have a saying in business when I used to have a huge target: how do you eat an elephant? In small bite-sized chunks. So there's a little tip as to how I'm going to tackle this job. So here is the cottage on a quiet country lane, quite near Nantwich actually, in Cheshire. And you can see the garage block over there in the distance, and we'll be going down there in a moment. Now, this is thatched and there's one bedroom and one bathroom, quite a small cottage, and we like to have people to stay. As I walk past it, I will tell you that this is the start of the trench I'm digging for the electrics. There is already electric over there, but it needs upgrading to a higher spec because I will be putting a boiler in there and some heaters and probably a lot more electric. So my electrician has told me I have to dig a trench, which is what I'm doing here, all the way down the side of the cottage. That trench goes past the septic tank and will go into the garage at the back. I also have to dig a trench to bring the drains down the side of the garage to go into the septic tank here. There's my master plan, by the way. We'll come back to that in a moment. I'm quite keen to show you what I'm doing so that you've got the full context. This is the garage block. Apologise for the shaky hands on the camera. I'm trying my best to hold it steady. These garage doors are going to be replaced by bifolds, and the outside is going to be clad in cedar. And you might just be able to see my neighbour's garage up there. That's already clad in cedar. So this will be cedar clad, and there will be bifold, so that's the outside treatment. Eventually there's going to be a pergola outside here, and I've asked the electrician to put a high powered cable or plug socket down here so that eventually I might even be able to have a hot tub. There is a door on the side, and I'll open it now just to show you that there is a staircase, but I'm going to open the front garage doors. I will do a guided tour from there. So there is the master plan. You can see my shadow there holding the camera. And we'll be coming back to that master plan. It's kind of in the form of a Gantt chart. I'll tell you what a Gantt chart is in a minute. So those are the front garage doors. These are going to be bifolds, and that is going to be clad in timber, so it will look like a log cabin. Inside, and this is not the order I will be doing it in, I'm just starting in this direction because I'm giving you a guided tour. The floor plate is 6 inches of cement concrete. That has to be insulated. So there will be 100 mil of this stuff, insulated board, on the floor with a floating floor on top of it. The walls also have to be insulated. So we'll have to build stud frames all the way around, complete envelope of stud walls, which will again be insulated with insulated board and then insulated plasterboard on the inner surface. The roof, the ceiling here has to be insulated with sound cladding to avoid noise coming from upstairs. And the staircase at the back there, whilst it's going to be useful whilst I do the conversion, is not compliant. The landing at the bottom is not big enough, and the landing at the top is not big enough, and the clearance, the headroom, as you'll see in a moment, is not high enough. So I'm going to have to redesign the staircase. It's going to come in over there and turn twice and come into the room in this direction towards the camera. You can see that the electrician has already been here and done the first fix electrics. I cannot do electrics. I'm not trained. I wouldn't even try electrics. Quite happy to pay a professional to do the electrics. Everything else is going to be done by me. Right, let's have a look upstairs. And I'll show you upstairs by entering through the side door. Now, bear in mind that there is going to be a stud wall along that joist there. So that whole of that front space there will be one open plan space. It's going to have a gym on this side and a bed on that side. And the bifolds will look down over the garden, which will be beautiful. Then that stud wall will continue all the way along there, and there's going to be an ensuite in that corner. And all the wires which are there will be fed into the junction box, which goes here next to the boiler, which goes there. The boiler and the water will come in here, will feed the services. Going to go upstairs now. Now bear in mind that this staircase has to be completely redesigned and remodeled and replaced to make it compliant. If you're wondering how I know all this, I got building regs involved at a very, very early stage, and they have told me what to do. So that will be one tip if you want my advice. It's worth paying the fee for building regs to get involved, and they will give you clear instructions in writing as to what they require. You can see I've already started insulating this ceiling. This is going to be an office space. Now I'm going to do a complete video on this, but in order to insulate this, there has to be a gap for ventilation above 120 mil of this board, which is cut to size, as you can see here, and then taped down the crevices, and then there'll be insulated plasterboard on the inside. That's the tape there, by the way, that I'll be using, like a chrome aluminium tape that goes down all the cracks, and then plasterboard on the inside. This will be my office. It looks like a loft at the moment, but eventually this will be where I do all my editing for my videos. The new staircase will enter the room a bit further to the left in this direction, go down one, turn, and then down another turn, so it's almost like a spiral staircase. The back wall has to be insulated. Insulation, insulation, insulation is the key thing. And again, you can see the electrician's already been in and done a first fix. Wall lights down there, down lights all the way along here, plug sockets in all the relevant places. And underneath here, there are going to be fitted cupboards for storage, and then I imagine a desk down there. So that gives you an idea of the whole scope of the project, which is converting the garage block into a large bedroom with an ensuite and an office space. Will involve insulation and, of course, fitting a new staircase and putting in bifolds. Does feel a lot of work, doesn't it? I accept that. And sometimes when I think about it too much, it does scare me, which is why I've done this master plan, which I'm going to share with you now. You might not do it in an identical way to this, but I think it's a great way to clarify your roadmap through your project. Now, as well as running my YouTube channel and doing a little bit of acting, I also work in personal development, and I deal with a lot of executives and coaches. And one of the things they use a lot are these things called Gantt charts, which basically is a big project divided up into small pieces and then plotted on a timeline. And I'll go over that in a minute, but the first thing you would do a brainstorm. I don't think you're supposed to call them brainstorms anymore, but basically you write everything down. You empty your mind of all the little jobs on a piece of paper. And then you put them onto this chart called a Gantt chart. There's the start, and time goes across here. So if I focus in down there, you can see that I had the idea and I got planning permission, and then I automatically immediately started the building regs process. You can see I've actually put little budgets or proposed budgets there, and then it moves across. So all those little jobs that I've put on my mind map, on my brainstorm, I've put onto this timeline. Now, it's not an exact science, things will change. The weather might be different, so therefore I might do some of the trenching a little bit earlier, or I might go inside and do some insulation. But essentially these are all the big jobs divided into small jobs. So I'll just go through them one by one. Insulate the upstairs, I've already started that. I've got the planning permission, I've started the building regs. Building regs, as it says there, will be ongoing throughout. Very helpful part of the process because they give you like an instruction manual. Insulate the roof upstairs, install the bifolds, start digging the trenches for both the electrics and the drains, get the first fix done. So I'm kind of already at this phase already. Then we've got insulate internal walls, insulate floor plate, start thinking about the staircase. That can't be done until the floor plate is insulated because that sits on top of that. Insulate internal stud walls and the second fix of electricity. So we've got a roadmap already, which helps me to clarify how I'm going to tackle this job. And we've got plasterboarding. The external cladding can be done at any time. It's like an independent job on its own. I could even leave the external cladding a few years before I even did that. And then we've got plasterboarding, plastering, getting the boiler fitted and doing the ensuite. Now, of course, all these things have links to the others. They're all a little bit interlinked, and there are Venn diagrams that part of that job can't be done until part of that job's done. But it gives you a clearer plan of how you are going to finish it. And then you can see we've got the final fix electric, heater, boiler, and ensuite towards this end of the timeline. And as you do things, and as you learn skills, and as you develop, things become clearer and get clarified, and before you know it, you're down here with a finished conversion. That broadly is my plan, and I know it won't stick to that plan. And another thing I've got in my favour is I'm not really stuck to a rigid time frame, so I can go away and come back to it. But I will be sharing all parts of this journey with you on YouTube, so don't forget to subscribe. And of course, as I've already said, I'm an amateur DIYer. So if you've got any thoughts or ideas or opinions, or if you think you can help, or even if you are a supplier of materials or a DIY shop and you want to donate something to the cause, obviously I would be giving you a plug. Then get in touch, let me know in the comments box below this video. Please do join me on this journey, and I'll see you very soon for some more garage block conversion adventures. Bye for now.